Racing to the 2024 Kentucky Derby, and this time we get an update for Monday, April the 8th. Super Saturday weekend is over, and we did do an update on Sunday. If you want to watch that, you can take a look at the race replays from the weekend. But today we're going to talk about some of the recent workouts. The Beyer speed figures have been announced, and the time form speed figures announced from the weekend stakes races and Super Saturday, and the first look at the field. Now, starting off, Beyer speed figures on Sunday announced Sierra Leone gets a 98. That is the second fastest Beyer speed figure on the Derby Trail this year, behind Fierceness's 110, Resilience with a 90, and Stronghold with an 89. Now on the Oaks side, Where's My Ring got a 93, and Nothing Like You got a 91 on the Beyer scale. Meanwhile, Timeform US, which accounts for pace in their speed figures, a little bit more accurate. Sierra Leone with a 117, Stronghold with a 114, and Resilience with a 113. There's not as big of a spread in the Timeform speed figures. So if you're new to speed figures, you're always going to see a little bit lesser scale on the Timeform. Now, the Timeform chart did come out. That was a very fast pace. When you look at the red numbers at the top on the fractions, they adjust them for the pace, so that 150 gets adjusted to a 148. Pretty fast for the 6 furlongs, 110.02. Just a touch was just off that very fast pace. And of course, Top Connor set that fast pace, one of the fastest paces on the trail. So that'll be something to look at moving forward. But a fast pace resulting in a fast speed figure for Sierra Leone, the fastest of the weekend. Workouts are already underway at Churchill Downs. Let's start it off with Friday. Catching Freedom going 4 furlongs and 48.2. Of course, he won the Louisiana Derby. Catching Freedom by Constitution, trained by Brad Cox. Kind of a routine 4 furlong workout for Catching Freedom. Endlessly went 4 furlongs on Saturday at Churchill Downs. Now they are back in the field. The Jeff Ruby winner, of course, 4 furlongs and 48.2. Never raced on the dirt. He's 5 for 6 lifetime. Endlessly pointing for the Kentucky Derby. Meanwhile, Honor Marie went 4 furlongs on Sunday. What I like about this workout for the closer, went in company with a stablemate, second in the Louisiana Derby, outfinished by Catching Freedom, and Honor Marie back on the work tab, the son of Honor Code, going to be pointing for that Kentucky Derby. And then Track Phantom for trainer Steve Asmussen. He works a routine maintenance work on Sunday, 5 furlongs in 102, went outside of horses. It looks like they're going to put on blinkers for the Kentucky Derby, but Track Phantom, one of the few horses capable of showing speed in the Kentucky Derby as we start to line up the workers this week at Churchill Downs. Now, Leslie's Rose, let's take a look at her. Her sire is Into Mischief, the Ashland winner, trained by Todd Pletcher. Here she is post-race on Friday in the Ashland Stakes. You know, a nice looking filly. Definitely looks like an Into Mischief. Big rear end. Overall solid coat. And I think this was a horse that perked up getting to that cooler weather at Keeneland. Leslie's Rose pointing to the Kentucky Oaks. Now, Fierceness, let's take a look at him post-race in the Florida Derby. I was down there. You got Mike Rapoli, the owner, congratulating the jockey, Irad Ortiz, Todd Pletcher checking her out. But overall, he came out of that race, I thought, immediately afterwards, looking good. Didn't look too worn down after that race. A big effort in the Florida Derby, a Beyer speed figure of 110. But Fierceness still down in Florida. He should be shipping up probably later on this week. We'll find out more. Of course, Fierceness attempting to become a Breeders' Cup Juvenile winner, a Florida Derby winner, and a Kentucky Derby winner. The only one doing that was Nyquist. The Florida Derby, the all-time leader in Kentucky Derby winners as their final prep race. Announced over the weekend, a jockey from Woodbine, Kazushi Kimura, is going to be getting his second straight Kentucky Derby ride. He is going to be riding TO Password in the Kentucky Derby as we start to get the jockey announcements for the Kentucky Derby this week. So good to see him, second straight year coming to the Kentucky Derby. And Knightsbridge, you know, he's a horse that's going to be on the undercard. In case you missed it, he won a Gulfstream Park allowance race, first start of 2024. He's now 2 for 2. Fast early, fast late, a Beyer speed figure of 96. He is going to be running most likely in the Pat Day Mile. He broke his maiden by 10 lengths at Churchill Downs, came back and won at Gulfstream Park for trainer Bill Mott and Godolphin Blue. And the Lexington Stakes draw has been announced, a draw of 10 horses. Lucky Jeremy, who ran in the Sunland Derby. You've got Encino, who scratched out of the Bluegrass. Hades, trying to get into the Kentucky Derby, ran off the board in the Florida Derby. And then the Wine Steward ran second to Locked last fall in the Keeneland Futurity. Is making his first start of 2024. I don't think they're trying to get to the Derby. Most likely, if he runs really well, we might see him in the Preakness, but most likely maybe going up to Saratoga for that Belmont Stakes at 1.25 miles. The starting gate starting to firm up now for the Kentucky Derby. Sierra Leone, Fierceness and Catching Freedom, along with Stronghold, Resilience, and Forever Young. Those are top 6 are in. Endlessly, the Jeff Ruby, still to be totally decided, but they are leaning that way. Doorknock, most likely after his off-the-board finish in the Bluegrass. Just a Touch, who was second in the Bluegrass. They're going to wait a week, but I think he goes. Track Phantom, working towards the Kentucky Derby. Then this second group of 10, still to be determined. West Saratoga and Just Steel and Honor Marie confirmed. Domestic Product, most likely. Catalytic. Now, Deterministic, they were not as forceful with their announcement after the Wood. They're going to wait and see how he comes out of the Wood Memorial. So Deterministic may not be in. Society Man looks like they're going to go. Mystic Dan is in. No More Time is going. And T.O. Password from Japan. Don't forget the Oaks race. Leslie's Rose punched her ticket. We've got the top 6 confirmed. Tarifa, Where's My Ring, Power Squeeze, Leslie's Rose, Torpedo Anna, Just FYI, and Gin Gin going to the Kentucky Oaks. Key dates coming up this week. Forever Young going to arrive on April 10th. The Lexington Stakes, that's on Saturday at Keeneland. Post position draw on April 27th. And we've got the Kentucky Derby Pedigree Show. That'll be on April 29th. And that'll be with Jessica Tugwell. Kentucky Oaks on May 3rd, Derby on May the 4th. Triple Crown Prospectus comes out every Monday. Sign up below in the description. And the Kentucky Derby Pedigree Show with Jessica Tugwell. Bring your questions to the show. If you can't catch it live on April 29th, leave a question or a comment, and Jessica will analyze all the runners in the Kentucky Derby. We've got a Derby tip sheet, Preakness and Belmont tip sheet, along with other big racing days. Sign up below in the description. What are some of your early thoughts on the Beyer speed figures of Sierra Leone, Resilience, and Stronghold? Leave a comment. Remember, D. Wayne Lucas always says, people have opinions, horses have the facts.